So you can be filming in 4K, have the best location and the best editing, but if your audio is garbage or people can't hear what you're saying, they're not going to keep watching. By the end of this video, expect to learn how to get the best from the built-in mics on the Pocket 3, the secret setting for recording even more audio tracks, the trick to recording audio even when you're filming in slow motion modes, and how to use DJI Mic 2 with the Pocket 3 for outstanding audio. Let's start off by talking about the internal microphones built into the Pocket 3. So there's 3 microphones on the Pocket 3, one just here, and then also one on each side. There, just there. There's not a microphone on the side where the screen is. The first tip I've got for you is to not block these holes when you're holding the Pocket 3. So it's pretty easy, especially if you're not using any of the extensions, to accidentally hold the Pocket 3 with your fingers over these holes and partially blocking this microphone at the front. If you do that, the internal audio is going to sound pretty rubbish because you're blocking the microphones. One easy way to help prevent that is to just use the extension handle. This comes with the Creator Combo. So now it's a lot easier to hold the Pocket 3 at the bottom and not accidentally move your hand so far up that it's going to cover those microphones. Even better, screw in the little tripod. Now you've got even less chance of covering up those microphones. So if you are using the internal mics on the Pocket 3 to record your audio, there's one really important setting that you really need to know about. First thing you need to do is swipe from the right, and then you're going to have to tap on Pro to enable Pro mode to get to this setting, and then tap the little microphone icon. That's going to bring up the settings for the internal microphone. And the setting I'm talking about is this setting at the bottom, this direction. This is the directional audio, or in other words, which of the microphones will actually pick up sound while recording. By default, this is set to all. That means it's going to pick up sound from all around the Pocket 3. There's 2 more settings that you can change this to. The first is front, and that means that the Pocket 3 is only going to use the front microphone to pick up sound. And the other option is front and back. It will focus sound from the front and behind the Pocket 3. Changing this setting can have a massive difference on the quality of the audio depending on the location that you're filming in. Let me show you a couple of examples. This is what it sounds like with the microphone direction set to all around when you're using the internal mics. And this is what it sounds like with the internal mic direction set to front only. And this is what it sounds like with the mic direction set to front and back. This is what it sounds like with the internal mic set to direction being all around, so it's picking up sounds from all around the Osmo Pocket 3, one of those microphones. And this is what it sounds like with that direction set to front only. So this is what it sounds like with the direction set to front and back. So it shouldn't be picking up too much of that side noise, just whatever's coming from in front and behind of the Osmo Pocket 3. There's a couple of other settings that it's useful to know about here. The first is this channel. You can change this between mono and stereo. Most of the time you're probably going to have this set to stereo unless you're specifically recording some dialogue, for example. And the other setting is this wind noise reduction. If you get a lot of wind noise sound on the internal microphones, if it's very windy outside, then you might try turning this on. Just be aware though, sometimes it can kind of make the audio sound a bit weird, and you can try and get rid of some of this wind noise in post-production. For example, in DaVinci Resolve, you can use the voice isolator and try and isolate things that way. So normally I'm going to have this set to off and directional audio set to all, unless I need to change them. By the way, if this is your first time here, hi, I'm Jason. This channel is all about making better looking, better sounding and better edited videos. If that's something that's interesting to you, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. All right, next let's take a look at the secret setting that can kind of turn the Osmo Pocket 3 into a multi-track recorder. You can use this feature to get extra ambient audio wave files that you can use when you're editing your video. To turn on this setting, you need to swipe down from the top and tap the little nut icon, and then just scroll down until you see built-in mic audio backup. Tap this and then slide this toggle to enable this feature. And you can see down the bottom here we've got a few limitations. This feature won't work in low light mode at 4K 30 or 25 or slow-mo mode at 4K 120 D-Log-M or HLG. This mode makes a bit more sense when you're using something like the DJI Mic 2 in conjunction with the Pocket 3, but we'll get to that in a minute. When you've got this turned on, anytime you record a video, you're going to get a separate wave file alongside the video file, and the video file's still going to have the audio in it. And what you can do is you can mix in the ambient audio from this extra audio file into your overall video, and it gives you control over the soundscape. Let me show you what I mean. So I've got the Pocket 3 set up on a tripod there, and it's kind of close to the ocean. Just going to walk back a bit. So now I'm recording the main audio using the DJI Mic 2 wireless mic. I'm also recording internally as a backup, but I'm also recording at the same time separate audio files from the Pocket 3's internal microphones. What I can do now is I can mix in that ambient audio that the Pocket 3 microphones are recording alongside the main audio that I'm recording with the DJI Mic 2 here. And that just gives us more options when we're mixing the audio together to create a more immersive soundscape in our videos. To make use of these extra audio files when you're editing, first of all, copy all the files from the SD card onto your computer and then edit the video as you would ordinarily, but also use the extra audio file on a separate audio track and then use whatever video editing software features you like to mix in that audio, raise the volume, lower the volume of that extra audio file to create a nice ambient sound in your videos. So you're also probably going to want great music, and this is not a sponsored video, but I've been using Epidemic Sound for almost 5 years now. If you want a free trial, check out the first link in the video description. If you're making use of the slow motion mode in the Osmo Pocket 3, you might have noticed that you don't actually get any audio recorded in the video files, but you can actually get access to the audio that was recorded, because when you're using the slow motion mode, it will save a separate audio file alongside the video file. And what you can do is you can import this into your video editing software alongside the slow-mo video. And one way you can use this audio file is to simply retime it to the same length as the video file. And of course, the audio is going to sound really sped up and a bit cheesy. 120 frames a second. Or you can just pull out little bits of the audio for certain parts of the slow motion video. If you are thinking about buying a Pocket 3, I would highly recommend you spend the extra bit of money and go for the Creator Combo that also includes the DJI Mic 2 transmitter. There's a few reasons for this. The main one is that it's going to allow you to attach the transmitter to yourself so you can move further away from the Pocket 3 and just get a bit more freedom when you're filming yourself. It also comes with this windshield that you can remove if you're recording inside, for example. But if you're recording outside, this little fluffy windshield helps to reduce some of that wind noise. And if you're still getting a lot of wind noise even with this thing fitted, what you can actually do is use the little magnet, and instead of wearing it on the outside, you can just wear this on the inside of your t-shirt and use the magnet on the outside, and the fabric from your t-shirt or whatever clothing you're wearing will further help reduce some of that wind noise. Also, for more audio options, you don't have to make use of the built-in microphone in these transmitters, because they actually come with a little socket there, so you can attach a wired lav mic to this. Still going to transmit wirelessly to the camera, but for example, you could wear this on your belt or something, run a lav mic up inside your t-shirt to further help reduce any wind noise, or in fact, just to improve the sound quality if you've got a lav mic that you really like the sound of. So if you do buy the combo pack, which I'll put a link to in the description, the DJI Wireless Mic 2 will automatically come paired with the Osmo Pocket 3. But if you buy this separately, or perhaps you get a second one, you can pair them manually. If you do need to pair one of these DJI Mic 2 transmitters with your Osmo Pocket 3, swipe down from the top to come to the menu, tap on the little nut, tap on wireless mic, and then tap on TX1 or TX2, and it'll give you instructions on how to pair the transmitter with the Osmo Pocket. Just going to turn this DJI Wireless Mic 2 transmitter on, and when I do so, you should see a message on the Pocket 3, which you're doing. Just tap to close that. And you can see this green bar at the top is going up and down as I'm talking. This is your volume level meter for the DJI Mic 2, and you want this to be mostly green, maybe occasionally orange, but never in the red, really. You can change this by swiping over from the right, tapping Pro Mode, and now in the middle, tap this little icon which looks like the DJI Mic 2 transmitter. What you're going to want to do is set this transmitter gain to a negative or positive value depending on how loud you're talking or the person that you've got the mic attached to is talking. If I max this out all the way up to plus 12 and head back in here, you can see now that this bar is kind of peaking and into the orange here, but if I talk really loudly, just excuse me for a minute, hi, you can see it peaked into the red there, which is not what we want. So it's just a case of whoever's wearing this, come into the transmitter gain and select a setting that works for you. For my voice, +2 seems to work okay. I could probably go to +4. If you want to mute the transmitter, which means you won't record any audio from it, you can tap this mute option and turn it on. And you've also got this noise reduction option. You can turn that on if you're filming in a noisy environment. Maybe there's lots of background hum or background noise or something like that. You can turn it on, but once again, just like the wind noise reduction, sometimes it might make things sound a bit strange, and you've probably got better options for doing this in your video editing software. So I normally have this turned off. When you're using the DJI Mic 2, there's a few other settings that you should be aware of. To get access to these, you need to swipe down from the top, tap the settings nut, tap wireless mic, and then scroll down. So you can turn on and off the LEDs on a transmitter, just if you want a more stealthy look. You can turn on and off the vibration, and you get vibration on the transmitter for things like powering off or powering on or setting certain settings. I normally leave vibration on as it's a good safeguard in case you accidentally turn it off. Audio to video sync will automatically start internal recording on the transmitter when you hit record on the Pocket 3. I normally just hit record manually on the transmitter, so it's recording everything. You can record hours and hours on the internal recording, so it's not usually a problem. If you want to, you can change the internal recording of the files on the transmitter to be 32-bit float. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically a way of encoding the audio data that's saved on the transmitter, and it can help prevent overloaded sounds. If some sounds are too loud, you can still store the data for those sounds. It won't actually prevent you overloading the microphone if you were to shout really loudly into this microphone, or maybe put this microphone on the exhaust pipe of a Mustang V8, of course. You can turn on this auto power off feature. This will turn off the transmitter after a certain amount of time inactive. And you can format the transmitter, which will erase all of the internal files on this transmitter. Have a listen to these two clips next, one shot using the internal mics and one shot using the DJI Mic 2. So this is what the audio quality sounds like using the DJI Mic 2. And this is what the audio quality sounds like using the built-in mics on the Osmo Pocket 3. Also, don't forget, when you're using the DJI Wireless Mic 2 or even the internal microphones, you can make use of the EQ tool in your video editing software just to tweak how things sound. For example, you might find it's too bassy in one part or too high-pitched in another part. I'll put a link to an EQ video down in the description if you want to learn more about how to use EQ in DaVinci Resolve. If you really want to get the best out of your Pocket 3, check out this playlist next. I've got tons of videos and it's really going to teach you how to make beautiful looking and sounding videos with your Pocket 3. I'm Jason Roberts. Please subscribe and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.